Well, MC Eiht joined the Gangster Chronicles.
Yeah.
Who I've interviewed before, twice.
Right.
I think he's dope. I think he has a very interesting perspective.
And it was crazy. It was crazy.
I think he has a very interesting history as well.
Yeah.
Pop, legendary West Coast artist. Classic albums under his belt.
Right.
But you said that it got crazy when he joined?
When the deal was going through and then they told me that Charlamagne and them digging Eiht. Well, we just previously interviewed Eiht and I thought he was cool. Me and Eiht never talked, from Compton, different sides. And the first thing I thought is, damn, that ain't gonna work. I don't think I want to do that. But
because of the gang thing?
Because of the history that he have and I have. I didn't want that to clash.
Right.
I don't know him.
He's a Crip. What's that?
Tragnu.
Tragnu.
Yeah.
Does Tragnu and Ma Piru historically have issues?
No, it's not. I mean, we both grown out of it, but
it was a Crip and Blood thing.
Yeah.
At one point.
And my whole thing is, man, what if this brother start banging at me? I have to bang back at him. And this was before me and him ever said anything. So what I've learned is talking to him and just breaking bread and just sitting back and man, he a good brother. And I don't see Eiht from Tragnu. I don't see Eiht, sitting at the table, yeah, cuz woo, 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 woo. And he won't see that from me. Nigga on Bloods, we got a woo woo. And he ain't gonna see that from me. So what you have is just two men, you know what I'm saying, grown ass men, ain't even looking at that color shit, ain't even on no gangbanging shit. He haven't said it to me, I haven't said it to him. And our conversation is so far away from that. I see he's about family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they had the privilege to watch Lionel, my grandson, run around the little photo shoot and shit. And that's what I'm into right there.
Yeah.
So I met a man. You know what I'm saying? Not a gang member.
Well, after he got on the show, Faison Love had made the comments about Dave East and saying that he wasn't a real Crip because he started cripping in his 20s or something like that. Which, I mean, for me, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Right. I know Faizon. We talk. That's his opinion. I don't agree or disagree with it. I have no connection to that statement. But then he dragged MC Eiht into it. I guess he was saying, oh, and look at Eiht is doing songs with Dave East and whatever else, which turned into a whole thing for MC Eiht.
Right.
So now he feels like he has to respond to that. And then he got dragged into this whole thing of people started accusing him of snitching because of a movie that he did.
Right.
And he got paid $100,000 for a movie. And he was questioned about what he did and so forth. And he did an interview on the Gangster Chronicles explaining that. And he, from what I remember, he said he got hired to do a movie. The guy who had put it together was involved in some shit.
Right.
He got paid $100,000 for it. And when they came and questioned him about it, he said, yeah, I got paid $100,000. This is what I do. I'm an entertainer. I've been in movies like Menace to Society, but he didn't get on the stand or testify or do any level of snitching or whatever.
Nothing like that.
But now he's having to defend himself over something that he really got nothing to do with anyways.
For whatever reason, we attack each other or dislike each other for whatever reason it is. I don't think it should be. I'm trying. This is the first time I've just got caught with my words because JoJo, I fuck with him. I did interviews with him, JoJo Capone out of Chicago.
Right.
And to me, a good brother. Now, talking to JoJo and listening to his standards and where he stand on certain issues, like on hood shit, I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why this situation came up. if you have a situation like that, I think a phone call should be made to that person. Ain't nobody hard to get in contact with if you really want to talk to this motherfucker about anything. So I think the route was the wrong way. The things wasn't supposed to happen the way it did. I think it should have been a man thing on, check this out, dog, such and such is saying, whoop, 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 let me get at you. Okay, I think they should have had that call, that sit down, that talk or whatever, but I don't know, man, Vlad, shit happens and people just don't think, man.
Yeah, I think the problem these days with social media and everyone having a platform is that it becomes very difficult to privately work out situations because phone calls get recorded, texts get screen captured. Right. You know, like I'll tell you one situation with Lupe Fiasco, right? The rapper. I've known Lupe. I don't know him, but I've interviewed him before. We ran into each other like 10 years ago at a club, and we had a conversation and so forth. And Lupe had a issue with us reporting on him on the website, right? Because Lupe would say some outlandish things, and we would do an article about it because this is what we do. And he was like, "Yo, I thought I told you I don't want y'all reporting on me anymore." And I'm like, "Okay, we're still gonna report on you." Like, I mean, whether you tell us or not tell us, it really doesn't matter. If you say something outlandish that's making news, we're going to go ahead and report on it. So he was like, but if you want to discuss it, we could discuss it. And so he DM'd me. He's like, I'm following you. You could DM me. So he DM'd me, was like, all right, let's get on the phone. And I'm like, we're not going to get on the phone. Right. I'm not getting on the phone with someone who, you know, already has an issue with me of some sort. But I'm like, we're having a private DM here. So tell me what your issue is. Well, why can't we just talk? Or why can't we meet?
Why, you think he was going to record it?
Let me get to that. But I'm like, what's your issue? Well, call me. I'm not going to call you. What's your issue? Why can't we call? Where are you? I'm in LA. Well, I'm in LA. Okay, I'm not going to go and grab my security to go meet up with you in person to have a conversation. Like, this is a waste of my time. Like, if you, blah, blah, blah. And at one point, the conversation, I'm like, all right, that's that. This conversation, I'm not going to get on the phone with you because I don't trust you.
Right.
Lupe goes and takes our whole DM conversation and posts it on his Twitter. This is Lupe Fiasco, who was like, I think a Grammy nominated artist. But people see
this shit though, right?
But it's just, it's just silly to me that it's like, yo, two grown men can't have a and he, you know, in his DMs, like, yeah, I want to hear his voice, and so I could tell him and so I could post it or something like that. And I'm like, this is so silly, and this is the world that we live in right now. You can't have an actual real conversation with somebody when social media is involved. If they have a platform, because they're gonna use what you said or screen cap or record or do whatever. And try to use that as content for themselves.
That's why you got to be careful with what you say.
Yeah, which is why I'm at the point in my life where I feel like there's very few people I could actually have conversations with. Right. You're going to have to go through my assistant moving forward. And it's very sad because it stops a lot of things from getting worked out. And I think, like, as you can see with this MC Eiht situation and so forth, these guys could have gotten on the phone. They could have worked it out privately. It could have never...
I think they're in a better place now. I think it's cool.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure, but it's annoying for Eiht to have to deal with that because he didn't do anything wrong. Right. Nothing wrong with doing a song with Dave East. Dave East's a hot artist right now. Okay, so he's cripping. Okay, so maybe he started cripping later on in life. Oh well.
Well, I mean, that part, whatever he got going on in his business, whoever he chooses to fuck with, I don't know Faizon, but I mean, when you open the door for certain shit, you give people like that something to talk about. And you can't be mad at him. I mean, it's just, why do we got to do it to each other like that? Why we got to stick it to a motherfucker every time when you know it ain't? Come on, man, this is petty bullshit. You know, I had a small little issue with with Melly Melvin, Kev Mack. But instead of getting on this motherfucking Instagram and all this other shit, I reached out to somebody that knows somebody that know, and I called them. You know what I'm saying, man? What's happening, man? Let's say, and we fixed it. It was over and done. You know what I'm saying? So, what is you gonna get out of a recording? You're gonna get out of what I just said to you. So people gonna understand it even better because they heard the conversation. So it don't bother me.
Yeah, but what if the recording is edited? See what I'm saying?
See, I ain't with all that.
See, what if they take one part of the recording and put it into another part, and then put another part? You see what I'm saying? And
they do that.
And they do that. Yeah. And unless you're recording it as well, you can't counter that. You can't say, I didn't say that. You know? Or if, let's just say you had a conversation with someone and they go and make a video about the conversation and what they say is totally different than what you told them over the phone. Now you see what I'm saying? It turns into a fucking mess, which is why these days I feel like I could talk to very few people. I can't talk to nobody.
Well, you got to follow your first mind, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
It ain't worth it.